put here
Miss
Sylvia,
Right here.
Diane just went to the restroom. Lois, Dolores, I know she was here. Dee. You like to go by Dee, don't you?
D.
Dee, Mary, and Tom and Claire.
That there is England. Starting our descent. Isn't that right, Dad?
I reckon that's right.
Starting our descent.
I reckon that's right. Are you getting my tonsils or not bad ever. Come on, sleepy. Oh, that looks nice. The Globus person there to meet us and get us to the Globus spot. Okay?
To get to various places. Should also have some maps available.
Oh, good.
Did you ask him about the restaurants?
Hmm?
Did you ask him about his eating places?
I did not.
Because we're on our own for dinner tonight, right?
Yeah. Lunch and dinner. Yeah.
The ones which you board at the front obviously take a lot longer because the driver has to stop for quite a while at every stop. They're phasing out the
Slug
old
and
style
lettuce.
ones because they're not very good for disabled access.
Here's the
So they may not be
old
here the
McDonald's.
next time you come back. Holland Park and Notting Hill area.
Uh-huh.
House prices around here measured in millions. To buy a car parking space around here can cost you more than the car itself as well.
The scenery has changed.
Said parking space costs more than the car.
Yeah.
And it's to be called Notting Hill. And this is Notting Hill. So you'll probably see quite a lot of these streets. Also, if you like a good market, biggest street market in London is on every Saturday. It's called the Portobello Road Market. And it just goes all the black cabs, the Hackney cabs as they're called. They're not all black, but they're still referred to as black cabs. You'll recognise them by the shape. Those are the best ones to use because the drivers know where they're going and they're not there to rip you off.
Park. It runs in the Hyde Park. Speaker's Corner is just...
It's where we want to go round, so they're diverting us.
Okay, here we are at our hotel in London, the Metropole, right?
Yeah, the Metropole Hotel, yes. And it's a wonderful hotel, but we have a view
Here's
that's
our-
just out of this world.
Here's our picturesque view.
This is from 1941 when the bombing of London was in full blast.
Don't make me laugh, I'm shaking the camera.
Sunken boats, bombed out buildings. I told her we wanted to be on the 23rd floor so we could
That's
see
right, we
over
can see
all of
everything.
this. I think one was Greek, isn't it?
The bottom is Greek.
And that's what gave him the key to what the rest of it was. And what number? You bought it? Yeah, I don't know.
And they kill them all. And
soldier is holding his shield up to protect himself against the horse. That's supposed to be in the other panel here that's missing. They told about this one that's up here, and then they told about another one, and that was in room 5, and another one, and that's in room 10, and another one, and that's in room 12. They've got them all right here. Didn't leave them and change your mind.
Stairs there. You turn left and then immediately right, back down the Egyptian gallery, have another little look at the Rosetta Stone and then out whence you came. So in fact I haven't taken you any, I've just confused you by bringing you round through here. But in fact if we go through there you'll see those Assyrian galleries that we started off with. So thank you very much indeed, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Questo va.
As a cab driver.
And this is Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square.
You know Nelson's column in the middle?
Yeah, Nelson's column. Yeah, Admiral.
And those lions were done by Landseer, I think, the artist.
Uh-huh.
You know, but when they did the lions, he'd never actually seen a real lion.
Oh, really?
So it was only from drawings
Yeah.
and paintings.
Oh.
His imagination pretty authentic. Did a good job.
And up there you can see his Parliament, Big Ben.
Oh, yeah. See, Parliament ahead.
Where's Big Ben? Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yes.
Huh.
Right.
Gallery, but
Oh.
those are all, well, that one with the flag flying is the Queen Mother's house.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Well, is St. James along here
Yeah,
someplace?
St James's Palace. That's
Oh, yeah.
what you can
With
see
the
there.
cupolas over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, St. James Palace over there. And that's where we get the name of our ambassador, is the ambassador to the court of St. James.
Oh, yes. Now,
Yes.
is this Hyde Park on the left?
No, I don't think it's
not
Hyde.
there
What
yet.
park is it on the left?
So you you've got St James's Park.
Yeah,
Oh,
St.
okay.
James.
The right is Green Park.
Oh, look at these
Okay.
pedestals. Can you see the gateway here?
Behind this front piece, you go through the arches and then it's
Really?
very big, yeah.
What? You were taking a fare through in
Yeah,
there?
there was a function. It was the Duke of Edinburgh's awards that night.
Oh.
Some people got in and wanted to go in. We got there 5:10 and the function was at 20 past and they wouldn't let us in till 20 past.
Really?
Yeah, had to wait outside.
Huh.
Yeah.
Scotland, because we're going to Edinburgh in a few days and we want to get into Holyrood. And if she's there, we can't get in.
Too cold for her in Scotland.
Is this St. James Park on the right still?
This is Constitution Hill,
Uh-huh.
and it's all part of Green Park. On the right.
Green Park,
Well,
oh yeah. Green.
hardly. It's part of the grounds. This is all the back garden of the palace.
Uh-huh.
This is Hyde Park Corner.
Oh yeah. And the Marble Arch, right?
No, that's
No.
up the...
Lion King's not on over here.
Yeah. We might end up taking it back. Because it said something about the bus routes, but this is number 7. I didn't see a number 7 on here. I don't know what I'll get into all that.
Hello. Yeah, it is. It's on. Good morning.
Morning.
We're waiting for 3 people to come down, but in the meantime, the breakfast is going to be served. those saints. But when you come into a high church, you think you're in a Catholic church because, like I said, we kept all the pomp and circumstance. Because originally, you know, Henry VIII broke with the Pope in Rome, not for religious reasons, but for practical reasons. Just to get rid of his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, and marry Anne Boleyn. Then later on, he became religious, but he didn't start that way. Now, that kind of pale pink building, do you see that? White and pale pink is where the Queen Mother lives. That's Clarence House. The Royal Standard. Those are the Australian gates down there. The ones with the scaffolding are the Canadian gates, and we're standing by the South African gates because that's the memorial to Queen Victoria. And remember when we had an empire, that sun never set. You know, she was not just the Queen, she was the Empress. That's why the empire is represented all the way around. She was the first one to move into Buckingham Palace.
You know why the sun never sets on the British Empire?
Well, they haven't got one anymore.
Because God doesn't trust them in the dark.
I like that. Thank you for that one. That's great. If the Queen was home, it would have been the Royal Standard. And if you guys move a little bit further down, you see two columns and a balcony. That's where they hang out a red carpet and come out and wave to us ever so often. You know, weddings, special occasions. You've seen pictures of that, haven't you? That's the little balcony over there, mate.
That's the tower of the cathedral.
That is Westminster Cathedral. That's the tower. You can go all the way up to the top. See the red and white one?
Take a picture.
Procession, and the flag then changed from the Royal Standard to the Union Jack on half mast. And up here, and then Prince Charles, Prince Philip, and William and Harry, and all of Spencer joined the procession and then walked down. So when you see on TV, whatever the coronations or funerals or weddings,
I saw a cafe, it was at the Pond
ladies and gentlemen, come and cuddle up. Form a group. Ladies and gentlemen, remember it was built as
Lub przejść, proszę, no i ile razy mamy.
Projekt wykorzysta fajnie. Fajnie, proszę sobie wygląda. Nie, myślę, że on musi co na
on się pani teraz będzie odwracał.
On musi co parę minut tym dokończyć, wiecie, po prostu. A ich ma 50 znowu.
Co jest za kogoś tego
Crowds, boiler sets up. Quick, march.
Amarillo, why don't you tell us what we're seeing?
We're seeing Windsor Castle. You just saw the changing of the guard at a part of the castle. And we're looking at, I guess, the round tower maybe with the Queen's flag on top, which means she's in residence here this weekend. And on to the Norman part. This castle was begun by William the Conqueror and has been built on by various kings since that time.
And then over here we have the chapel.
Yeah, the chapel, St. George's Chapel, which was closed today. So we weren't able to see it. They use it for worship of all things on Sunday. And then on around, there's a sort of Tudor style, looks like maybe apartments or barracks, maybe where the soldiers live.
And isn't it big? It's enormous. When I say it's the largest one in the world, people go, no way. But it is. Just look at it. And this is a railway viaduct. Very clever, because the idea was it's farmland, so you took the animals underneath the archways onto...
Here's our last view of the Metropole view. And we've discovered that it looks like this because they're building a huge new section to the Metropole. And that will all be hotel in a few years or months.
Hey, there's sunshine.
Yeah.
Sunshine. All right, let's go. All right. Did everybody have a good time yesterday? Yes. All right. All right. Carlotta, I saw her this morning. Maybe some of you saw her too. She said to tell this group that you're about the nicest group that she has ever had, and she really was sincere about that. And she, I think we'll agree, she's one of the best guides that you've ever had as well. So that was nice. I told her this was a nice group, and most what was that?
She said we still are.
Oh, still are? You still are. Well, we'll see by Saturday, won't we? Most of you got to meet President Bonanno at breakfast. She wants to say a word to us before we head off. We're waiting on a couple of people anyway, so we've got time. She's going to greet you, and then if they're not here, I'm going to give you a history lecture. So you better pray that they get here right away.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who have never met my good, long, enduring, suffering husband, he's standing right here, Evan Burlock.
I'm not exactly suffering.
I just wanted to say that I hope that you all have a great trip. We're really sorry that we're not with you. It sounds like a much more interesting day than we have planned. But thank you all for your continuing support of Columbia College. We couldn't do a lot of the things that we do without the support of alumni and families. So I thank you and have a great day and lots of fun, and you brought the sunshine, so hope it's a great trip.
Maybe you brought
Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye.
The driver's name is Ted, okay?
Good morning, Ted.
Or he said Ed or Edward.
It looks like you can call him about anything you want to call him. And the tour director's name is Marvin Peterson, and you'll meet him in just a moment. While we're waiting for these others, unless you have something preliminary to say,
Go ahead.
Okay. A question came up yesterday, it seemed to me, that might be well to talk about just a little bit. When we were at the Catholic Cathedral, it was a question about cathedrals. And ordinarily in one city, so, one cathedral in one diocese for each denomination that has bishops and dioceses, and that would be in England, that would be the Roman Catholic Church and the Anglican Church or Church of England, same thing. The Catholic Church, of course, was the original church in Britain and was the only church until the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century. In the 1530s, Henry VIII, you probably remember the story of the 6 wives, and Henry VIII broke with the Catholic Church because of his perceived need to divorce his wife Catherine and marry someone who would give him a male heir to the throne. That was the political motivation behind the break with the Roman Catholic Church, which would not give him his divorce. So then for 2 or 3 centuries, Catholics were persona non grata here, and many of the monasteries and the abbeys were demolished, plundered and torn down, and most of those are in ruins now. Henry VIII wanted to destroy the power and the wealth of the Catholic Church, and he effectively did so by taking away their lands, and they owned maybe 1/3 of England at that time, and he took all those lands and distributed them among his noblemen, and thus bought their allegiance to him, and at the same time destroyed the power of the church. So all over England you'll see these ruins of monasteries and abbeys that were destroyed in the 1530s. But by the 18th century, the Catholic Church was again tolerated in this country. The Anglican Church was and still is the established church, the government supported church, and of course the Queen is the head of the Church of England. She appoints the Archbishop of Canterbury to run the church, but she's the head. So the Anglican Church remains the official church. The Roman Catholic Church is a tolerated church, and so the cathedral here, Westminster Cathedral, is the Catholic cathedral, and of course St. Paul's is the Protestant cathedral, the Anglican cathedral. And don't confuse Westminster Cathedral, of course, with Westminster Abbey. Westminster Abbey is now a church, and it's an Anglican church. And it's also a sort of royal peculiar, and of course it's used for the coronation of the kings. Okay, brief history lesson on the Reformation. Anybody have any questions that you'd like to ask? And Mark?
Right, we'll get going as soon as we can. Is that volume roughly okay? Can you all hear it? I gather Bob's been trying to sabotage my microphone by using foreign accents. These machines only work with English voices. Now, the point is, can you understand what I'm saying? I've got 1 week to try and teach you to speak correctly. If you don't pass the test on Saturday, you don't go home. It's very simple. Right, okay, we're just waiting for that one gentleman, and then we'll get going in a minute. Everyone's got everything, have they, from their various rooms? Can I take the opportunity? I want to run through some safety points, if I may. It's rather. Don't worry if it all looks a bit strange. I look at you and think, my goodness, that's a weird-looking bunch. And you look at me and you think the same. But by Saturday, we'll all know each other, so don't worry. Ted is our driver, Ted Ward. You can't see him, but he's sitting here at the front. Both Ted and I will be with you for the entire week. So, Ted Wall, our driver. My name is Marvin Peterson. I know it's a stupid name. I've always bitterly resented it, but you'll get used to it. Let's just run through what we're going to do today. Normally I'm going to be sitting down once we get moving, and when the coach is moving, please also you stay seated down as much as you possibly can. The roads can be quite bumpy and twisty. What we're going to do is first of all go over to Hampton Court Gardens to have a look around the gardens. Now, to be honest, early March, I wouldn't get too excited. They're not going to be that fantastic. But at least you can go down and have a wander around the grass, and you may see some crocuses and daffodils and so on, but nothing else really will be out this time of year. At least, thank God, it's not raining for once. Then, depending on what time it is, we may go to Stonehenge first before lunch, or we may go after lunch. I just want to make sure lunch happens at the right time at Salisbury. It's not much point getting there too early, nothing will be available. So we'll try and make sure lunch happens normal, sort of 12:30, that sort of time. And then this afternoon, we're going to go to the Roman Baths in Bath, and our hotel also is in Bath. It's very central, so it's ideal. If you want to wander around this evening, you can.
Is this the long walk? I don't know. I know one walk from the other. I know we're going to have a little storm for us. We'll take another one that day. We'll take another one.
Okay, rolling.
This is Hampton Court. This is the back side of Hampton Court that was built by Cardinal Wolsey and ended up in the hands of Henry VIII. And it was the residence of the king of the monarchs from the time of Henry VIII until George III.
Here's a harp design on the gate, and through it is the back side of Hampton Court. You want to talk about that stone over there? But that's called the slaughter stone, right? And that's where the light hits at the summer solstice, right?
The summer solstice and in the morning, it's supposed to throw a shadow on a certain part of the monument.
leave. There's people waiting.
Hurry up. Stonehenge. Thank you very much.
Yes. Hang on just 1 second. Come on, walk by. Come on, walk by. Go ahead.
Is that
Go ahead.
okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me.
No problem.
All right.
Recording?
Yeah.
All right.
Recording.
Here I am at Stonehenge in my own video for once.
Anything you want to say other than those
These are some
primeval words?
These are some very large rocks.
Okay.
Very large
You're really standing in front of a mock-up, a picture.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
Okay. All
are
right.
styrofoam
Very
models.
good. Very good. Now, how do I...
Try to get one of the steeple.
This is the Salisbury Cathedral.
There's the damn thing. There it is.
How long has it been since somebody's stained glass windows have been here?
Well, the one that's above your head over there,
Over there.
that one goes back to about 1795, 96. They've only about 200 years.
Well, that's still...
They're all bits and pieces of glass, only odd bits and pieces of glass, which go back 3, 4, 5 years.
What about the one over there?
Well, that one over there, that's only about 15 years old.
Oh, was that? Oh.
It's a modern window. It's a prisoner of yeah, all the people who suffered for their belief faith or political beliefs. He was still Bishop of Salisbury, but he never bothered to come to Salisbury. So they got their own bag. And they put a hat in his head. I think it's the one, I'm not sure whether that's the one, but that's the story I've been told. But of course under here, the old half-round ones, I should say, I don't know if you heard, the round ones are probably the original seats. The seats underneath are all carved. There's a little flap that comes down where you could sit on for a long sermon, and the misericord, and they were allowed to half crouch or sit. But they're all decorated. The trouble is that they used to be allowed, everybody was allowed to have a look at them, but so many pieces have been broken off and that through people handling it, they had to stop it. I mean, there's an angel there that's lost, if you look on the camp, there were lots of little bits of them. It's where people handle them and so you get there.
So this is your special seat here? This your special seat here?
No, I've no special seat. No, there is a person who's a cathedral chaplain. She is a lady actually. She in fact looks after the staff and that. I'm peculiar in that I'm in minor orders. I'm not. I'm a reader. I take services in the church, but I'm not ordained. But I hold the bishop's license to preach and to take services. I can bury somebody, and with his permission I'm baptised as well. But we're not reverend. We're still Mr. Or Mrs. or Miss, whatever they may be there.
Go ahead.
He's drinking out of it. Can you see that? He's warming up his inside.
Alright, here's our view out the window of our hotel in Bath. A little better than the view in London. Pretty nice. And here's the hotel room.
You women stay in the bathroom, Brown. Stay in there.
You're gonna get us in trouble. Okay, I'm rolling some tape here. What are we looking at? This is the Royal Crescent in Bath. Yeah, there's so little light.
This is 18th century, architect John Wood. It represented a restoration of interest in the bath as a spa and became a major resort area within England. Notice the neo-colonial, neo-classical style. That's right. That's right.
We're getting ready to leave Bath.
Oh, excuse me. Martin, I think you need to go into tour business now that you're about retired.
What?
I think you need to go into tour business now that you're about retired.
Well, we'll see whether anybody's ready to massacre me by the end of this one.
Imagine on the roof, you've got loads of worms and grubs. And if you didn't have that, the birds down the roof and peck at it, it'd make a terrible mess.
Oh dear.
No problem.
All right.
Just back to the coach whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
It's almost identical to what you're going to see in 10 minutes' time in the centre of town.
No, the inside of the car.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. You see, we're going to the Shakespeare Centre in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Which looks almost exactly the same.
On the inside.
I mean, I just bring it here because I have to. It's written on the itinerary. You know.
That'd be a good introduction to it, to get that legend over there.
How about that in the picture of you?
Speaking of legend.
Here we have some of the queen swans going away from me because they've figured out that I have no food.
Good news for drinkers and gamblers. Beer, wine and spirits, no change in duty there. Cigarettes up 17.5 pence a packet, as expected. 5% above the rate of inflation, the so-called escalator.
Here we are at the Wild Pheasant Hotel in Llangollen.
Cars has been reduced by £55 in environmental tax.
Isn't that how you pronounce it?
£0.25 a litre from 6 o'clock this evening. Unleaded petrol up nearly 4 pence a
This is the
litre.
biggest hotel room we've had on the tour so far.
Married couples allowance.
And we're watching the budget announcements from the
Children's tax credit.
Minister of Finance in the Parliament. And Dad is enjoying his cup of tea.
April next year and up to £10 for subsequent children. But by next year, I'm going to cut
There's our bus getting ready to take us on our barge trip.
political success under Mr. Thatcher, under John Major, always being able to get tax cuts like that. So that was quite extraordinary. But look at some of the other things. Nothing on food. What could be more popular than that?
That way, that way. Yep. Okay. Oh my word, you're all so nimble. Okay. You see,
I bet you enjoyed it.
Was it just?
Like
It was
HLA.
the awesome thing I have ever seen.
What do you know? I'll take that. And I
No,
give
he
you-
just hadn't gotten in here.
Thank you.
He was there, and then he went back.
He wants to be by the booze. The booze on the rock.
The mysterious man.
Yeah.
I'm a hold on to you, Bob. You go, we go together.
Okay. Be back.
Rate of speed.
I'm almost finished. You can have my spot. Look at that hillside over there.
Aren't they though?
Well, it's
I
cold
like
out here, you know.
whales. Yes, it
The
is.
reason I know is my fingertips get cold.
Oh.
This kind of weather.
Do you want a glove?
Now, I've got some. I just want to take this last picture. Then I'll put them on.
I'm coming down.
Okay, can you get...
It's like a cat, they've got a double eyelid system. They don't have an iris like us. So you look at them, you think that's on Android, you know?
All right, it's opening up. I see it now.
I know they have those little narrow.
Yeah.
I see it now.
Shoot. If you want to take that, you can buy a lamp.
Aha! Done. Okay, good.
Hey, there's one moving.
Come on.
Buzz recording.
Oh, he's leaving.
Where?
Jeez. The delay on this.
Ireland shields most. No, but it's great. Yeah, there's nothing, you don't have to worry about. When I hear all you guys talking about killer ants, killer bees, and snakes, and
I made the North Atlantic one like that. 22 years after.
Did you get one of the fireplace?
That's the one
Sure, I want to get close to this. I'll get it before I go.
Okay.
Maybe I won't get
No problem.
This feels good.
It's just simple.
Can you put that on your table? I hate to put it down here, somebody reached into the, under my coat closet, and I have all these books, and I got two gloves. And they all told you, lucky thing, exactly, they're both white-hand gloves, exactly one. That's sort of like having two long feet, it's two right hands.
Off then.
I can do it. I can do it. Well, that's your project.
Yes, that's true. Because they're going to be, they are. After we get them back, we can get them back.
Those two guys have no brother who was also a lawyer.
Yeah, I do.
He was a lawyer in Washington, D.C. for a good long while, and then came back and practiced law for maybe 10 years or so, and then retired in York.
Well, see, he passed away the October, 96 October. And then we bought that February of 97, so we never met him.
Oh, you never knew him?
But he had just passed away. I'm like,
So you don't
iPad line.
Beer. I'll try a Tetley bitter. I don't know a thing about it. I don't need a whole pint. Just make about 3/4.
You're just saying that for the camera, I know. You're just saying that for the camera, I know.
Oh, was that on camera? That's fine.
Pub's claim to fame is Pavarotti has tipped a glass here. Probably more than one.
Be intrusive here.
Oh, you're the paparazzi.
That's right. Blame everything on me. You guys having a good time?
Are you looking at me, Scott?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You know that every now and then I get out the video that you made in, what, 1980? When you were trying to make money and you did an inventory of all the silver in my house.
Right.
One of your early efforts.
That's right. One of my early entrepreneurial good deeds.
3 to 85. I was the one to get the books in order.
Is that right? And what have you done since then? Did you get retired?
Lively group here.
And you can remember them single mom. And that's why we're giggling.
You guys having a good time?
We're having a wonderful time. We are not having fun. We are not having fun. My roommate has been entirely too quiet. She's had nothing to say. She's gotten us into no trouble. No, I don't think so. Not yet, but we're
This is the wild pheasant in Wales. We're getting ready to check out.
Well, we do have one or two narrow gauge, but they're just one or two little curiosities. We don't have the different gauges around. What is rather odd, though, is for those who are interested in railways, although the gauge in Europe is basically the same 4 to 8.5, the size of the railway carriage is physically different in the different countries. One of the technical problems when they were building the railway which goes from London to Paris, you know, the cross-channel railway, is for comfort. They wanted to build the trains on the French size, which is about 6.5 inches wider, a little bit higher. Well, of course, that's a great idea. It runs on the same track, there's no problem in terms of track. But getting them through the tunnels and under the bridges was a bit of a problem. Oh no, they raised the steam mill on the left. So they had to rebuild all the bridges between London and the south coast of England, where that particular train goes. When it came to the tunnels, it's a bit tricky redoing a tunnel. So what they did is, tunnels are basically semicircular. They just simply dug up the track, lowered the track by 20 inches, and that effectively increases the clearance all the way around.
This is the town hall at Chester.
And this is the road. Yeah. The shopping arcade this way and down this way too.
It's pretty good size place.
Yeah. The old city is here. The wall just goes all the way around, and you can walk on top of it all the way around. It's a little long to do.
It was for
in an hour and a half. But if we walk down this way, we can see some Roman ruins, and then you can get off the wall almost at any point, come back up to the roads, and then back to the other. Grasmere in the Lake Country, and this is the grave of William Wordsworth, the poet. He lived here in Grasmere in Dove Cottage for a number of years and then moved a few miles away to Rydal Mount, and he's buried here, and his wife's buried here, and his sister Dorothy, who played such a great role in his life, also was buried here.
It's our hotel in Edinburgh. Getting ready to take a walk.
It's a great view of it. I like to look down on the city and get some perspective on it. Activity out there, but not much. Huh? Yeah, there's one ship out there. But for a city of this size, there doesn't appear to be much shipping going on, does it?
I see a couple of pounder, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6, 7 containers.
Yeah.
This is Carlton Hill overlooking the city of Edinburgh.
Haven't a clue what that thing is. It's a structure.
See some of the things I think they might have recorded that it's just. I think I'm gonna try to find out how you edit.
Here's our hotel room in Edinburgh, Scotland. One of the beautiful cities of Europe. And certainly, as Marvin the guide says, the crown jewel of Scotland. And the hotel is right on the main street where you can see the castle and all sorts of beautiful buildings if you're on the front. If your hotel room is on the back, this is your view.
But look at this one, Edinburgh Castle Rock we call it today, and you're probably saying to yourselves, surely it's the wrong shape for a volcano. Well, let me explain. During the last ice age, and indeed ice ages before that as well, because these mountains in Scotland are among the oldest geologically known to man. But during the last ice age, a huge glacier grinding to the sea was travelling from west to east, from your right hand to your left as we sit.
This is Edinburgh Castle. The entrance to Edinburgh Castle.
There's been a fortress here, something like 13.5 centuries. obviously changed. Old castle. Well, of course he wanted them out. Didn't know what to do. Delegated the task to his nephew, Thomas Randolph. Randolph, a soldier with a great sense of strategy, handpicked from his army 30 of his best men. Trained them how to scale the face of a cliff, brought them to Edinburgh, and during the night of a great storm, he actually led them up the face of the rock itself. In the new town, on the edge of the water, the port of Edinburgh, the water itself, you can see just through the mist there, the Firth of Forth. Firth being the Scottish word for an estuary where the river opens to meet the sea. The land on the other side, the county of Fife. You see a big island to the right? That's the island of Inchkeith. If you took off from here, flew over the top of that island, travelled 50 miles, you'd land in that little town in Fife where a terrible disease started that spread around the whole world. The town is St Andrews. The disease is chasing a wee white ball with an iron stick. The summit, climb is over, and up here you have the various visits I'd like you to make. Most of these visits are in Crown Square. We're heading in a moment, I'll explain them to you, and turn you loose on your voyage of discovery. Guiding in the buildings up here is not allowed. You'll see why. They're far too small to allow.
This is what they call a Great Hall.
Trench mortars.
That's here. Can I park you up there today, John? Isn't it?
Just a couple of ne'er-do-wells coming out of the Edinburgh Castle. Oh, here's the chief ne'er-do-well. What?
I wanted to get in my own video.
That's good. And this looks right down the Royal Mile. Right down through there. 1 mile to Holyrood Palace, which is where we're going next.
Right, folks, Holyrood translates as Holy Cross. Rood, the old Scots word for a cross. And there are three. South of the palace, the biggest green space in the city of Edinburgh, Holyrood Park. Covers 300 acres of ground, and not only includes the Salisbury Crags here, the great escarpment, it also includes the tallest of our seven volcanoes. What you see up there is the tip of Arthur's Seat. There's no connection with King Arthur. It should be Archer's Seat. The Royal Company of Gentlemen Archers are the Queen's official bodyguard in Scotland. And they used to be encamped on the lower slopes of that hill. But over the years, Archer's Seat, which is not easy to say, became slotted into Arthur's Seat. It's simply a corruption of language. It should be Archer's Seat. So that's Holyrood number 1. Holyrood number 2 is an abbey, the ruin of which lies to the north side of the palace building, and you'll see that as you leave the palace arches too. Holyrood Abbey began back in 1128, built up originally by King David I of Scotland, one of the sons of the lady whose chapel is on Edinburgh Castle. A very pious young man, all over southern Scotland. You see another couple tomorrow as you leave with Marvin and Ted. He established centres of religious teaching. This particular abbey, he did
Representation.
And here's the outside of the Scottish National Gallery. We couldn't shoot pictures inside, but this is the outside of it. Here's the Royal Yacht Britannia. It's been retired and we're going to go check it out. Alright, here we are getting ready to check out of our hotel in Edinburgh. Had a great time last night playing with a Scottish blues band. Dad's catching up on Mary Queen of Scots for his lecture this morning. Hi there. Ready to go?
Didn't think you were going to get me, did you?
This is Abbotsford, Sir Walter Scott's home.
And if you find mass, it's not well right in the 18th century and the early 19th. But I mean, no, I don't understand that. I don't display. Yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a lot of money.
If you like, what are the other questions?
Well,
First of all, I should say good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome to Abbotsford. Abbotsford, I'm sure you have already been told, if you didn't know before, was the home of Sir Walter Scott, who was a great writer. He was a novelist and also a poet. He was born in Edinburgh in 1771, the son of a lawyer. He went to Edinburgh University at the age of 12, became a lawyer like his father. He eventually moved to the borders here, and he bought this ground in 1811, but it was 1822 by the time he had built and completed this house. And this room was actually his study, where he'd done most of his writing. So Walter wrote Waverley, Ivanhoe, Rob Roy, Bride of Lammermoor, Heart of Midlothian, The Abbot, The Monastery, and another 190 something or other. Around 200 volumes he wrote altogether. If I could just stop for a second, people. The front of it does fold down, the top of the desk goes up, it makes a slope. There's another bit that pulls forward. It's a very versatile desk. The boxes inside the drawer was Sir Walter's filing system for filing his letters. Coming back to have a good look. Small items Sir Walter collected, and they include a crucifix which belonged to Mary Queen of Scots. It's made from mother of pearl. It is green, and there is no pattern on it that's repeated. It is different all the way around. In the centre of the room we have a gasolier rather than a chandelier because Sir Walter had gas lighting. He was one of the very first people in Scotland to have his home lit by gas, and he actually made his gas here on the premises. And gentlemen, don't ask me how. All I can tell you is that he used coal, and that's all I know about it. No, exactly, yes.
I get a picture of her.
which is the west wall, we have statues of St. Peter and St. Paul. They are also copied from Melrose Abbey. The two breastplates and helmets. Yes, do feel free just to wander wherever you wish. She's in her 70s, in her early 70s, yes.
Being underground like that kept it cool.
This is the view from the border crossing between Scotland and England.
You take one of us.
Thank you.
Stay there.
There's Dad standing on Hadrian's Wall.
Oh yeah. Oops. Stumbling on Hadrian's Wall.
So this was at one time 15 feet high, they say?
Yeah.
¿Qué tal? Así. Hello.
This is a chalk painting, believe it or not.
Y'all go inside the cathedral?
No, we just didn't get back in time.
Peeking into someone's garden.
Now I'll take a peek at the source of those bells. This is part of the city wall of York. Near which gate was that?
Bootham Bar.
Bootham Bar.
A bar is a gate, and a gate is a street in York.
So what is this?
St. Leonard's Hospital, built in the 13th century, and it was the largest hospital in northern England.
Well, here's our hotel suite in Harrogate. This is called the Moat House. Moat House in Harrogate. Our last day before going back to London tomorrow.
Ooh.
Okay, folks, if I can have your attention, we'll make this short since we're probably disturbing some of the other people, but I knew that we would want to give some recognition to and thanks for our leaders for the week. I think we all think that they have been extraordinary. The driver of our bus, this man has been the transportation man triumphant. He's gotten us through many a squeaky spot and very safely, and not only have we been safe, but we've felt safe, which is very, very important. And we thank you so much. You've done a wonderful job, and this is a token of our appreciation. Actually, it's a little more than a token, but anyway.
One more day, please, Ted.
Yeah. Don't run off with that tonight.
Keep up the good work.
And Marvin, from time to time, I've called him Marvin the Martinet, and maybe Marvin Mussolini, who made the train run on time. But I think the best term for him is Marvin the Magnificent. It's really wonderful to see two professionals in action. These men are pros at what they do, and all of us, I think, got a picture of the complexity of that operation. It's not easy to do one of these, and they do it with such style and panache and confidence that we really wanted to thank you very much.
Can I just, on behalf of Ted and myself, say I'm not too sure we're pleased to be called extraordinary, but it's been a pleasure. When you all first came and said you were from South Carolina, I looked at Ted and I said, where the hell's that? Anyway, you've been as good as gold. I mean, you know, we've had rain, we've had this and that, none of you complain, you all sit there, you don't worry because you're all asleep. It's been a great pleasure. And we haven't finished yet, so we'll carry on tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay. I was requested to form a list of terms that would describe Marvin and Ted. So, briefly, as you say. Okay, for Marvin. Marvin is intelligent. He is witty. He is efficient. He's mildly cynical. He's probably liberal, although I won't admit it. In speech and thought. He's patriotic. He's professional. He's entirely satisfactory. He's friendly. And as my wife says, he is cute. And also for Ted, Ted is attentive. He is dexterous. You can use both hands. He is smooth. He is careful. He is neat. And he's dapper. And he's also friendly.
Tell them what it was. Does anybody else have anything to say?
Well, we're just glad to be here.
Right.
Tell Marvin something about South Carolina.
Tell them something about South Carolina? Well, it's hot as hell in the summer. But we would welcome you. Ted said that we're going within about 10 miles of his house tomorrow on the way to London, and we're all going to stop by and have lunch. Is that what you said, Ted? Floyd did it, so be careful. I'm told that the coffee and tea out here is for us, so take advantage of it, and thanks for gathering here. And I want to say, you folks have just been great. This group has gelled right from the beginning, and it's just been a marvelous trip for all of us, I think, and I thank you for being such a terrific bunch.
Thank you.
Now it's tea time.
A hotel in Harrogate. Checkout time. Loading the coach. Here we are at Belvoir Castle. B-E-L-V-O-I-R. Belvoir.
Oh, fine. Why did I know? As soon as I get the camera ready, you were gonna move. Alright. Now,
Everybody through?
Yeah. Hold it.
Barbara? That's right. That's good.
Well, I'm sorry Karen didn't make it.
Ooh.
Good shot.
Oh my gosh, it's spread.
Turn around.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna get my cup.
Get behind. Wow. You want a picture of the carriage?
The only time I ever saw anybody ride was in those.
Oh, looking at the view. Look at that. This is real. Oh yeah, look at that. What you call tattered and torn.
Down below, the Lake Duke's grandmother, 3 of her children. The one in the centre in the brown dress is the Lake Duke's father again. There he is by the door, but he's a bit older. Final version up there. Good looking cameras. Very hard work. And her other son sitting on the chair. She was Frances Sweden, the daughter of Charles Sweden, the American financier and author, and mother, Duchess of Monmouth. Here.
Yes, yes, and no. Oh, I want to get out. I want to get out there with the hounds and all that stuff that's going on.
Give me another one, David. Yeah, you've got a crowd up there.
We're a little mini hunter. I'm a subscriber. It's not on person. Thank you.
Hey, Conrad.
Much indeed.
Good morning.
Shirley,
Yes, morning, Josh.
How are you, Mr. Pay? All right.
How are you?
Very well, thanks. Are you?
Oh, we're lucky to have such a nice morning.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Mr. Curry reversed the lorry. Did you get his
Joe's right in the middle of the top, smack in the middle of the bottom I am.
Big sketch.
Baldwin's Brasser. Yeah, you and I have stood up, moved you 3/4 length.
I think she's got.
1 second. Sadly, the beaver hunt lost a great supporter and friend at the beginning of this week. With Monica Sheriff, who's maybe not...
We're at Cambridge University. This is the chapel at King's College. Here's the view out of our hotel room in London, Novotel, our last night here. This is the, they call it the London Arc, or the shot glass. The top of it's rented to Seagrams and it looks kind of like a shot glass. So, and here's the room. Isn't it wonderful? You had a good time? Have you had a good time?
Had a good time, great time. Yeah. And we're going out to the theater tonight.
And we are late, so
we're late.
Bye. All right, here's the last day here. Mr. Taylor's staying later, but the rest of us are loading the coach and heading for the airport.